Hello again, everybody. Today is March 3rd, 2021. And lately, it seems like every day I've been researching more and more growing things and plants and everything that has to do with plants. And I've spent a lot of time watching YouTube. And the more I watch, the farther and farther down the rabbit hole I go. So last night, I went down the vermicomposting rabbit hole, and I ended up watching videos, watching time-lapse videos of worms, eating and producing their worm castings, things like that, and it looks really interesting. So I decided today to build my own vermicomposting, stacking worm composting tower system. So this is what I did. A lot of people like to talk about how cheap they made it, or what cheap materials they got and how much they paid for each one. I didn't go with the cheapest route. In my experience, when you try and do something the cheapest way possible, you end up redoing it not too long afterwards and building it the way you should have done the first time. So for me, I like to buy quality stuff the first time and build it where it's going to last for hopefully as long as I'm messing around with it. So that's why I bought these. I bought 3 Rubbermaid Brute. These are 10-gallon totes. So each one of them came with a lid. And if you watch any videos on people building these things, this is real similar. These are just really well built for it. But so the bottom. So let's start with the top two. The top 2 trays are the exact same. Which so on the bottom, I drilled a bunch of holes with a 1/4 inch drill bit. So there's 11 holes or so down there. And that's, if you watch any other videos, basically let the sludge drain down, or the or the worms climb up to the next bin. So it's a dual purpose, these holes in the bottom here. The holes on the side are drilled with a 3/4 inch drill bit, and then covered with this screen repair material. And this is to let air in there. So basically, that's all you really have to do to make these top bins. Drill holes in the bottom, which, like I said, allows the sludge to drip down to the bottom tray, and also allows the worms to climb up to the next level up, where the compost is made. That's how you separate the worms out of their worm castings when they're done with the lower level, so you can harvest the worm castings. So those are those, and like I said, this is for aeration, which they need a lot of, and that's the top 2 bins are the exact same there. You stack them up. These Brute containers are amazing. They're perfectly designed, so it's like somebody designed them for. But this is basically what you want. You want I'll have about 4 inches or so of actual composting material, bedding, and whatnot in there, and the next one will sit on top here. So. And they say that the maximum depth worms really like to go is about 6 inches. So this 4 inches should be good. And once there's nothing left for them to feed in there, and it's mostly castings, I start loading the second one, and they start climbing up, and so on and so forth. It's kind of a easy maintenance system to harvest the worm castings, and obviously the liquid leachate, or basically the worm. So the entire purpose of this thing is to, one, which isn't really the purpose, but it's to throw some food away, just to have your food composted. So you throw basically things out of your kitchen: paper, cardboard, food. You don't want to throw in onions, citrus fruit, not a whole lot of bread, milk, meat. Those things make things stink. But basically most other things you throw in here and the worms eat it. But the whole purpose of the thing is to harvest the worms' pee and poop. So the worm castings, that's poop, and then the leachate is basically the pee. Also, it's whatever other water kind of drains out. So leachate isn't exactly the best thing, but it's not the worst thing either. You can use it if you're not too worried about it. A lot of people don't want to use it because they say it contains toxins of whatever it was that you threw in your bin, but I'm not one of those people that's too worried about stuff like that. Either way, so that was the top two bins there. And the bottom bin, all it is just the empty bin, and I installed a bulkhead, a 1/2-inch bulkhead. And this is where the whatever leaks down here, the leachate, or the drippings, whatever you want to call it, juice. So everything that leaks down in the bottom bin, I put this bulkhead here, attached to a ball valve, and everything that leaks down here, basically just spin the ball valve and drain it out into a jug or whatever. And if you want to use that, you use you dilute it like 1 to 10 leachate to water, and you have something you can put on your plants. Basically, is a really strong, solid fertilizer. But basically, the reason I was interested in this was, one, because the worms are really neat. The worms are they're interesting little creatures. But two, because after researching the relationship between soil and plants and how they interact with each other, and then researching about this, I found out basically that worm castings are one of the most healthy. There's all positives and zero negatives. Basically, using worm castings or worm tea is when you brew the castings in water and you produce a liquid form of the casting, basically. But there's all benefits and no drawbacks to this stuff, especially when it comes to the way the soil and the plants interact with each other. So the microbes and the beneficial bacteria, the worm castings and the worm tea is basically packed with those things, and adding them to your soil or top dressing your plants or pour them in your hydroponic solution, the worm tea, anything like that's basically going to boost the microbes and the beneficial bacteria. It'll protect your plants from bugs, rust, all kinds of stuff. It basically does most things you want good for your plants. It does pretty much all those things, health-wise, preventative maintenance-wise, just nutrition, everything. So that's why I decided to make this thing. And the build is that simple. The build literally took me maybe 20 minutes total. It took me longer to find these bins, which, like I said, I found these at Lowe's. I never said the price. The price of these is $20 per bin. So that's more expensive than your average bin, but these are thick, sturdy, solid stacking bins, and you know they're not going to crack, and they're going to last forever. I can't see these things going bad or cracking or weathering or anything like that. The plastic on here is very thick, and like I said, it's almost like it was designed for this setup here, because they stack the perfect height in each other. You know, about 4.5 inches there. And like I said, they're $20 for each bin. So it cost me about $60 for the bins. Another $5 for these little screen repair kit is what this is. A screen door repair kit. And it's got a sticky film over it, which you just stick on there. The problem is on the other side, the sticky film covers the little screen there. So I had to kind of scratch and peel off the sticky film from the inside to let the air through where the screen is there. But either way, so that's another $5. So $65 for those two things. And then PVC, we'll say that's negligible. I have that laying around, but the ball valve and the bulkhead, call it another $10. So basically this is $75. You can buy one pretty decent for $99, but I was kind of bored and decided to do something. Plus I think this will work really good. But like I said, about $75 and 20 minutes plus however long it took me to gather stuff. All at Lowe's, by the way. The ball valve, this is from the internet. Bulkhead's from the internet. But the bins and the screen stuff is from Lowe's. Most people they put a little spigot at the side. But I've seen spigots leak. I've had spigots leak before. I've had bulkheads leak too. So that's the other thing I did with this. The leachate stuff is pretty gnarly. Anything in this thing is pretty gnarly. It's not something you want dripping on your floor. So along with the bulkhead, which it shouldn't leak, but just in case it did, I put this Dynaflex sealant on both sides of the bulkhead there. So This is basically, it's pretty similar to just silicone caulking, waterproof silicone caulking, and that way I don't have run into any problems with this thing leaking this gnarly, you know, this black brown juice all over my floor anytime. But yeah, like I said, that's basically all I used for this, and it was simple, easy, fast, and hopefully it's effective. I'm gonna cut off there, and I'll come back on a second video when it comes to basically loading up for the first time with it's called bedding, where you put the worms, you know, it's basically a place for worms to go when they're not feeding, and so bedding the food and basically their habitat for the first level is when I'll pick back up on this video. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, you want to see more like it, hit subscribe. If you like it, hit like. And like I said, I try and keep things as fast as I can with as much info as I can, so I apologize if I'm talking too fast. But when I'm watching YouTube, I can't stand waiting for people to fiddle around with stuff and kill time. So like I said, I try and cut out as much dead time as I can and blast it with as much information as I can, and I appreciate it if you watch this far, and hopefully you can watch the next couple of videos and maybe learn something you didn't know already. Thanks.
Okay, here we are. This is the I see other people using a bucket just to get stuff wet, but I decided I'll combine things here and use this to get my cardboard wet. I'll use my reservoir here, and I filled it up with water. It's just RODI water, because you're supposed to make sure you don't get anything chlorinated that would kill the bacteria. So I figured I'd use this thing to, one, get the stuff wet, but also so I can check my bulkhead, make sure it's not leaking, which it looks good. No drops. So I just poured in 5 gallons there, and that's about how high the habitats will be. Maybe a little bit higher than that in the bin, but it looks like it's pretty good here. So I'll go ahead, and what I'm going to do is go, first I have this bottom piece of cardboard up cut to fit the bin here, my preliminary bin of worm habitat, and that goes in the bottom. I'm not going to do anything to that. That's just basically block the holes and make sure the worms don't fall at the bottom right away like dummies. And I'm going to go shredded cardboard, and then I'm going to shred some paper up. Basically, I'm going to get each of these levels wet and then wring it out where it's sponge-like, wrung out sponge type dampness. But yeah, so it's going to go cardboard, shredded paper, and then I'm going to expand these. These are cocoa peat, the cocoa coir, some junk I got with a couple of potting pots I got a while back. I'm going to use those here with this is the substrate there, and then more paper, and then I'm going to go get some compost, maybe worm casting, I'm not sure, something to seed it, and then more paper, and then more cardboard, and then a top layer, and that'll be it. So get that done and pick up there. Alright, so the worm bin is ready. It goes, the bottom is a cardboard layer covering the holes basically. Then it goes shredded cardboard, some shredded paper, some cocoa coir crud, and then I put some steer manure in the middle, which is like a buck. It's crazy how much that stuff is. I guess that's the term cheaper than dirt comes from. Either way, so manure in the middle, then some more cardboard, then I threw some more cocoa coir on top of the cardboard. Excuse me. And now that I'm done putting all that stuff in there, I'm going to go ahead and seed this thing with a, I wouldn't say seed, I guess feed the bacteria. So there's already should be bacteria in the manure, but what I'm planning on doing here is just feeding the bacteria, so this thing gets a little more alive before the worms show up. They recommend doing this for 10 days a week, couple weeks, whatever. These are eggshells, by the way. I didn't really crush them up as fine as I probably should have, but this is all kind of just getting it done quick and easy. So there's that, and then I'm going to just sprinkle in some of these frozen vegetables, which I can't even believe they're in my freezer still. I never eat this stuff. But either way, there's some frozen vegetables. I'm going to sprinkle some of those in there. That's probably way too much. That's all right. I'll spread them around. Yeah, let's get some good moisture content in there too. So yeah, I'll leave that in there. Then I'll start hopefully deteriorating in the bacteria, and everything will have something to feed on and get cranking in here, and this will heat up and get some moldy and everything else. And hopefully by the time I get some worms, which the worm farm in town is out, they're out of stock. They said they'll have them back in about a week. So hopefully by the time there's some worms back in stock, this thing will be ready to go and ready to receive some worms and feed them well. But that's about it. So this thing is done. Oh, by the way, so I'm going to cover this back up. Oh, let me go ahead and cover it back up now. Push this stuff in here a little bit. Push it in there a little bit. Pushing it all down, spreading it around. And then I'll just throw this crap over the top. Hopefully, when you cover it up with stuff like this, hopefully the mask the smell if it does start to smell or rot or anything like that. So there we go. That's covered up. It is ready to go for worms now, basically. Give it a little bit of time to feed. And I put this piece of paper on the top here. Hopefully it holds in moisture. Well, the premise of this is to hold in moisture. And then once there's worms here, it they like the blanket of something on top covering the light and kind of keeping them in. So that thing's ready. And here in about hopefully a week or so, I'll get some worms and this thing will take off, and I won't have problems with worms climbing out of a weird environment or whatever. They'll have a good environment and they'll want to stay in there. So that's that. If you like the video, comment, like, and subscribe if you want to see more. And that's about all I got here. Thanks for watching.
Great news, everybody. It's been a long time, but I finally got worms. Let me get them out here. I just got back from the worm farm in town here, and this is what they gave me. A bag full of worms. I'm making a mess with it, damn. All right, let me go. Oh, by the way, so it's actually been like, the worm farm said they were gonna have worms in a week, and it was like 3 weeks longer. So this thing's been here for almost a month after I put in that food to kind of feed the bacteria. And see all the condensation there, water, whatever. This thing's all wet now. I guess can you see it or not? Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty wet. You can see it. Okay. So here we go. Let's look down in the worm bin. All right. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So here's the whole worm bin here. It's all wet on top now. My top layer. This thing has a few times. It was covered in this fuzzy mold, basically, which is actually okay for this thing. It's you know, fungus, mold, whatever. The worms look not minded. Actually, just eat it and helps make the dirt. But either way, let's get in these worms I just got. Let's see what we got here. They're supposed to be. I got a half bag. A full bag is supposed to be 700. Oh, there they are. They are. And a half bag is supposed to be that red wiggler's baby. And a half bag is supposed to be, look at him go. A half bag is supposed to be like 300 or something. So look at those guys. These guys are ready to rock. Go, buddy. Look at you. You too. Everybody. So, yeah, so it's only 300 in here. Yeah, I think they might have actually put 300 in here. That looks like a lot of them. Look at these guys. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. We got worms, man. So now they're just going to go down. Hopefully they're going to get down my worm bin and start grubbing. Look at these guys. Look at these. Ooh, we got worms, man. Beauty. All right, so let me just go ahead and dump the rest of these guys in here. Whoa, that's a lot of them. Look, yeah, I bet you there are actually 300 in there. Maybe more. She did good. She hooked me up. I must have flirted with the worm girl. She gave me some extra worms, man. Sweet. So there they are. Wow, there's tons of them. Tons of them. They're all shooting down in the dirt like they're supposed to. But there you go. This is they threw some compost in here, but they're gonna get down here in this dirt, and hopefully they're gonna like their new home. And this thing is going in my kitchen, man. It smells good. It smells like earth. But yeah, so this is going in my kitchen. Look at these guys. Come here, little guys. Look at these guys. This thing is going in my kitchen, man. This thing's awesome. So yeah, these guys are ready to rock. They're jamming. What is that? That's a night crawler, dude. What are you doing in my bin, buddy? This guy's the wrong worm. The red wigglers are these little tiny. This has got to be a night crawler though, or earthworm, whatever. But it is. This is not a red wiggler. These guys are red wigglers. A little bit tiny. Look at them wiggling. Little red wigglers. Here's another red wiggler, right here. Oh, yep. Where is he? Ah! He bit me. I'm just kidding. Either way, these guys are awesome, man. Got red wigglers, man. Whoop, whoop. All right, either way, that's the end of this video. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Do all those things. Hopefully help my channel out. I appreciate it if you do. And I'll make some more of these. There's another. I think there's another night crawler. But either way, these are some big old suckers. So I appreciate you watching this far. If you did watch the video, and like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and thanks again. I'm probably going to come back here in a few months once I have some castings to harvest. Like I said, this is going in my kitchen, so I'm going to be throwing, I guess, food scraps in here once a week or so, whatever. We'll see how much food these worms can consume, how the population boots up. But yeah, hopefully this thing will get going. That guy looks dead. Are you dead? Are you dead, sucker? Move. Live. Live! You look damn dead. All right, either way, hopefully this worm population will start jamming, and I'll take off, and I'll be able to make my own vermicompost. I'll be able to make my own worm castings here. That has been, and I will probably make a video in the future. Maybe I'll make a worm bin series, but I'm gonna make a future video with harvesting the castings, and then probably I'll actually make some worm tea from the castings. That's kind of the whole point of this, is for foliar spray and whatever. But anyway, neat stuff. Thanks for watching. See ya.